Y'all share on y'all's Facebook pages or no? Oh, you don't even do Facebook, right?
I mean,
You boycott, right? Thank you.
It just takes too much. Like,
I haven't been on it for
Oh God, nice.
7 months.
Brass, bronze, copper, silver, and nickel. Colonial Brass.
Yeah, look how good we look.
Restoration and repairs for
Looking
all
good.
Let them know that you were affected
Yeah,
by
look
the
at
flooding,
that.
and they'll give
Sweet.
you a Harvey discount.
Is that right
They
now?
also
Yeah.
repair bronze
Everybody
statues
hold
for
your
your
stance.
If it's sat underwater,
Hold your
Colonial
look.
Brass can bring it back from the trash. Don't throw it. Restore it.
That's going to show up now as the...
Colonialbrass.net.
Yeah.
Or call 713-784-7765.
Good job.
Colonial Brass.
The following program does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of the
But it
staff,
should.
management, or ownership of this station.
We're not saying anything that
It's time
controversial
to get on the right
yet.
path with Right Path Real Estate Radio with Tom Perry.
camera looks like.
Get
We
the
didn't do
answer
my-
to your
my
question
checks.
That's keeping
I did.
you from taking action and succeeding today.
She said you were good.
Yep.
Camera looks like what?
Yeah, levels are
It's
good.
like tilted.
Oh, that? Yeah, but the shot's not.
Ladies and gentlemen.
The guy
Nice.
who will put your fears behind you is on the air
You're feeling
now.
better.
Taking calls at
Yes.
713-785-1817.
All right, gentlemen.
877-881-0271. Now here's your host, Tom Perry.
Hot mics.
Hey, welcome to the show. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817, 713-785-1817. Joined live in the studio, my
Good
brother
morning.
Jeff and my good friend Elijah,
Hey.
my brother from another mother. They're with Fast Track. Fast Track's the premier. I mean, I don't know anybody that's better known in terms of you guys. It's funny when I follow on Facebook, hey, who's a good general contractor in Houston? I mean, y'all's name always gets the list. I would feel bad. I always am tempted to put your name in there, but I never do, and because I'm a little bit biased, right? But someone always puts your name, and it always ends up on the list several times. I mean, I've never heard anything negative said about you guys. So, best way to get if you're wanting to do a buy, fix, and flip, you're wanting to do a buy and hold remodel, you're an investor, whether new or experienced. If you've ever had contractor problems before, you can put those problems behind you. You can call Fast Track 832-742-9992, 832-742-9992. Or go to fasttrackremodeling.com. So welcome, guys.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So anything new in the world of remodeling?
Well, I think most people know that there's been a lot of busyness.
Yeah, been a little busyness.
A little busy.
Well, one of the things that was asked, I guess it was either yesterday's show or Tuesday's show. I don't remember which, but it was this week, and somebody said, "Hey, what kind of lead time?" And last I had checked with y'all, but I wanted to confirm it. The number of days I had said is y'all are about 9 days out.
It's more than that.
Is
now.
it okay?
Yeah.
So how far out is it?
I would say it's probably at least 2.5, 3 weeks.
Okay.
At least, yeah.
So let's say 3 weeks is, and when I say 9 days, I'm not talking about 9 calendar days. I'm talking about like 9 business days. So I was saying like 2 weeks. But so if it's gone to 3 weeks, so that's like about 15 business days, right? So you've got 15 business days worth of work in front of you. Now, but what I said is, it's really not a concern because you shouldn't be calling Fast Track on the day that you're closing saying, "Hey, I want to come out and get a bid." You should do all of that. You get a property under contract. Then rarely are you closing a property in like 2 or 3 days.
Right.
Now, occasionally that's going to happen because you might be buying from a wholesaler. Title's already been out. But if you're marketing direct to sellers, then you're going to negotiate with that seller, and then you're going to put that property under contract. Typically 30 days. That's typically, I was just making an offer on a property this past Saturday, and the seller said, "Hey, how quickly can you close?" And I'm like, "We can close as quick as 10 days." And I'm like, what are you looking to do? And she goes, "Well, we were really kind of thinking mid-December." I'm like, "Oh, well, I mean, that's a piece of cake, right?" So if I had it under contract now and knowing that I'm not closing until mid-December, we could time it. You could come out sometime in the next...
I just think people need to be. I mean, they got to be prepared to no matter what.
Right.
Even not just us. We know like everybody's basically.
Yeah, everybody.
I
Yeah,
mean, every single.
well, anybody that's good.
trade.
I mean, there's probably some new guy that just came in from,
Hey, tomorrow.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
Mississippi
right.
or something
Yeah.
like that. Not knocking. Hey, I don't mean to bash Mississippi people, but there might be somebody from out of state that just decided, hey, there's opportunity there. I want to start a contracting business. Don't know anything about who would do that, right?
So, yeah, it's just going to be a time of. I mean, me and Elijah were talking about that yesterday. Is that you got to factor that in too, like to your holding cost and everything else.
And I
of just
can't go out to do a bid right away either. I mean, I'm like maybe almost a week now.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You're a week booked out?
Yeah.
Wow. But you're not the only guy that goes out and gives bids, right?
No, he's probably about a week and a half.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just something that, I mean, not saying that we can't do it. It's just
Right.
that's where, I mean, and it's like if people wait, it's
Yeah.
going to even be, longer. So it's like, I think that.
Well,
just
that's the
having
thing. It's
patience-
just plan ahead. You know,
Right.
here's the thing: is like the difference between how y'all do. Y'all sequence your trades in a particular order. So, for example, you're not waiting to call. If let's say tile needs to be laid today, you're not calling your tile guy this morning and saying, "Hey, Jose, come out and lay tile today," right? You call him several days in advance saying, "Hey, we're going to be ready on Thursday for you to be there for tile." And so because you're planning it out in advance. Well, as an investor, you should be doing that also. You should know that after I put the property under contract, the next step I need to do is get a contractor involved. There's normally going to be 15 to 30 days in there anyway, and if y'all are running 15 days out, then you should sequence that just right.
And I think a lot of people can do what you said at the beginning, just put it into your numbers. Put it in basically, 2, 3, 4 weeks, just so that you can know that you have some extra time there, not including the job being worked on. Exactly. And then if people are doing that and they have that mindset, then they're not going to feel like something was taken away from them when
Right.
they're told you got to wait a week.
Absolutely.
If you put that expectation a little bit higher, it almost feels like, oh, well, then I can't work with you. And then you go try to find someone else, and maybe they are not any better.
Yeah.
Right? Who knows? They may be just as far out, or they may promise something they can't deliver on, unfortunately. So, I mean, there are things that we have to bear in mind. This is undiscovered. It's uncharted little bit for us.
Yeah.
We're
and
dealing
other
with
people.
like having delays on things, just trying to
Materials and-
trying to.
What's the material that y'all are seeing?
I mean,
doors.
trimming doors.
Oh.
Just trying to get.
Interior doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everybody's trying to get them all at the same time, and
Yeah.
somebody we know made a big switch, and it's kind of affected some
Yeah,
things.
one particular company did. Yeah.
Oh. Uh-oh.
I won't say any names.
Yes.
But
Okay.
So anyways,
So the good thing is that if you're an investor and you're focusing on investing, and that's the thing that you're a 10 at, let someone to the 10 at general contracting, someone that knows, the doors, the manufacturers, who's switching what, all those kind of things. Y'all get to deal with that.
Right.
Take that burden off. It's one less thing to worry about.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you want to call Fast Track, not if you want, when you want to call Fast Track, 832-742-9992, 832-742-9992. It's fasttrackremodeling.com. That's fasttrackremodeling.com. So what else you want to add?
I think that people, when they're looking at these houses, I think some people are concerned about if it's been sitting for a while, was it remediated properly, and
Right.
so on. I know that some of them are looking to us for that
Expertise.
certification expertise, but there are companies that do that.
Yeah.
That is not necessarily us.
Well, in fact, the people, for those that don't know, the people that do the certification and have to write the plan of work can't be the same company that does the contracting. And even the contractor has to be certified if you're going to do that kind of remediation. And y'all don't do that. Y'all want to come in after it's been remediated, all
For
that.
mold remediation,
Yeah,
we don't do.
right, that's
we'll,
what I'm
we'll
talking-
remediate wet stuff that's
Yeah,
not mold. Right, exactly.
Right, yeah. Because, there's a difference between remediating wet stuff versus remediating mold stuff. And, what's interesting is, and again, don't want to get into liabilities of mold and all that kind of stuff, because that's a whole nother topic, and I'm not giving legal or, advice as it relates to mold. But, it seems like that people make a much bigger deal about mold, because mildew and mold, I mean, what's the difference?
well, I mean, I'm not going to get into all that, but there is a difference.
Yeah,
for sure.
right.
And I do think that certifications and all that kind of stuff
I agree.
when you're dealing with a mold house is.
But
totally
one of the
different.
problems that you have is that there's not there's a standard with asbestos, for example, which how much asbestos can be in the air before it becomes hazardous, things like that. There's not a standard for that in terms of mold.
Well, but just you can find a company that does like the testing. I mean, as far as before you even get a contractor involved, like
Yeah.
if it's a house you're interested in, pay the fee to have somebody come look at the house and tell you ahead of time, to where you don't get stuck with a house that needs
And
$25,000
if you're
worth of
concerned about
remediation.
opening up that door, maybe first you would hire a company that does the dry report testing
Yeah.
first,
Right.
as opposed to the mold testing,
Right.
Because that can open up a can of worms sometimes. But if you're looking at what's dry, and then they can also make their suggestions at that point. Hey, maybe
Take it in
there's
steps.
something else here that needs to be addressed.
Right.
At that point,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So I also know that in a couple of shows ago, we were relatively early in the, some of the construction things that were unique. people were taking away the moisture barrier.
Yeah, we figured out a.
Yeah, so what's the workaround?
Yeah, so we're using T-ply.
Yep.
And sliding it in between the studs, and then cutting holes.
Making notches. Yeah.
Making notches where you can basically make a tab and screw the tab into the stud, and then cutting holes for where the brick ties are.
Yep.
And being able to put the brick ties, attach them back to the studs.
Okay.
And then just tape those with window tape, like the exterior, window tape that we use on exteriors.
And so that kind of all seals it all up, gives a good insulation protection.
So no insulation protection, but I mean, as
moisture.
far as,
I should have said moisture protection. Yeah. Keeps it dry.
Yeah. So that's the best solution we found because it actually covers the entire stud face.
Yeah, because the city of Houston doesn't really have a code for anything like that. Do they?
2 minutes.
I don't know about a code thing, but I'm sure they want to have a moisture barrier when it's missing.
Right. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a really good workaround. Have y'all?
I'll post a video on our Facebook page probably in the next couple of days about.
So
that.
if I'm an investor and I see that that's gone, is there a way to price that? Did I look at what I'm going to spend to have that done? Is it a price per sheet? Is it a price per linear foot? How are y'all pricing that?
Yeah, I got with Mike about that the other day. I'll have to go back and look. I can put it on the video when I do it.
Because I assume that you've got you're doing it on the entire downstairs, and then you probably have to do it whether it's siding or whether it's brick, right? So everywhere. So if I've got let's say a house is 30 by 40, that it's got a 1,200 square foot.
If it's siding, you're not going to be able to.
Yeah, you don't have to do it with siding.
Well, you're not going to be able to because the siding's actually fixed to the stud.
So what would you do there?
I mean, it might have just felt paper.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. There's probably not a brick space in between like there, because it's actually attached to the stud. So yeah, most of the time it's on the brick houses that we've seen that being removed.
So then we just need to look and see linear foot on the brick.
Those are 4x8 sheets.
Yeah.
The T-ply.
Yeah.
So
it's like it'd be priced per 4x8 sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what are y'all charging right now to go in and re-rock a house? How much per sheet would y'all say y'all are charging?
Well, we actually kept for the
same
most part
pricing?
our pricing, which is about I
think it's $55
for hang tape float texture, and then there's the small management fee on that.
Yeah,
I think 10, 15, 13%. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so about $60, something like that. $62 per sheet, something like that. Okay.
Right.
All right. So you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817, fasttrackremodeling.com, fasttrackremodeling.com, 832-742-9992, 832-742-9992. Y'all also have y'all have before and after pictures on Flickr, right? Yep. So it's Flickr.
Well, you can just go to our...
go straight to the fasttrackremodeling.com website, and there's a link to Flickr.
You could get right on there.
Okay, can they schedule a meeting to come in or to have you go out and estimate a house through the website, or do they
there
need to
should
call?
be a link to be able to do that through the website, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or you can call the office, and then they'll get one of us to
And I
call
bet
back.
y'all even have a Facebook page, right?
Yeah, we do.
Is it Fast Track Remodeling?
Yes.
It is.
Fantastic. All right. Thanks for coming in, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Have a great day. Go Stros.
Go Stros. Yeah, go Stros. Go world champions, Stros.
Mike's off, fellas. Bye, guys.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties. Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done, train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself, no more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992, or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Investor loans offering up to 100% financing are still available. You just have to know where to look.
Good morning.
Noble Mortgage.
Yeah.
Hey.
Noble Mortgage
So
is
if
a full
there's,
service
like,
mortgage
lenders that
company
keep
that's been
arguing with
helping
value,
investors
Yeah.
since 2003.
Hog
A little
time.
vicious. Sorry about
Offers
that.
100% financing
Just talk
to
time.
investors that covers purchase, repairs,
All
and
right.
closing costs.
Levels
In
are
addition
good.
to property,
Okie doke.
Noble Mortgage offers
Here's my
conventional
face.
loans, FHA, and even
You're gonna go
no
2 segments
income
today 'cause Jerry
documentation
Ta's not
loans
here.
for both
Oh, okay.
residential
Yeah.
and
Thank you,
commercial
Jerry.
properties. Call and
gonna
ask about our
turn
5-point
it that way.
guarantee,
Okay,
which
perfect.
includes free pre-qualifications
All right.
2 business days.
All right.
She sound good?
Call 713-680-8100.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, cool.
You know y'all's koozies with the magnets on
Yeah,
them?
You like those?
I do like them now, but when I first got them, I thought they were weird.
Yeah.
Because I didn't understand the point of the magnets.
Right.
Do you know Bill Engvall?
Yeah.
He's a comedian. You know
Yeah.
that joke he has about these slippers with the headlights on them that he
Okay,
got?
yeah.
And he's like, why would you buy me shoes with headlights? And
Yeah.
then he stubbed his toe.
Right,
And
yeah.
now he's like, I wear these shoes all the time now so I don't stub my toe.
Right.
So now I love y'all's koozies because they just stick on the fridge.
Right.
And so I take a drink out and it's like so convenient. But
Right.
I didn't think of it when you gave it to me. So I thought it was so weird that it had magnets in it. And now I'm like, this is genius.
Right.
So.
Not only that, there's like if you go golfing or something like that. So, you sometimes the cup holders will fill up and you can stick like a water bottle or something like that right on the post of the golf cart. Yeah.
Think of everything.
Or like you go boating or things like. There's oftentimes
Right.
metal pieces. You can. Yeah, it's awesome. Glad you enjoy them now.
Well, I laugh every time I use it now, and every time I see one, I laugh. 'Cause
Yeah.
y'all have them in the
Yeah,
room over there.
yeah, he sticks them on the whiteboard in there.
Yeah.
Because whiteboards are magnetic typically, and
You just put your little markers in there. Talking too
you're
much
like,
about koozies.
yeah, you're like, these guys are idiots. Why would they put magnets on?
I did. I got this. I'm like, what's
no,
the
they're
point
not.
of these?
They're genius.
This is exactly what happened.
We go from idiot to genius.
That's
in like
exactly what happened. I'm like, thanks for this weird koozie that I'm never going to use.
Right.
And then I put it on the fridge, and I'm like, aha.
Now I'm going to use it all the time.
Now I'm the idiot. Yeah.
Yeah. Flip it. All right.
What you want to talk about today?
Yeah, so what you're seeing out there, what I've seen is I haven't seen yet a retail house that's been flooded, been retail
No, I haven't seen one.
rehab. In fact, I keep searching on HAR, and because I do the search. Eddie and I were having a conversation
Yeah.
a little bit ago, and there were like 67 houses is all that had sold that had the little check mark or the yes answer on.
Well, yeah, a lot of realtors are leaving it blank.
Right, I know. Yeah, they're not supposed to
Help
do that.
us. Help you.
Right.
FoundationCheck.com. Call Tom at 713-785-1817 and look for us on Facebook Live at facebook.com/RightPathRealEstate.
Hot mics.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio. Did a quick switch in the break. Now I'm joined by Michelle Emler. She is NextGen Appraisals. That's nextgenappraisals.com. NextGenappraisals.com. 713-346-9911. Hey, if you're looking at a property that you're kind of iffy about the numbers, easiest way to do it is give you guys a call. And you'll do a desktop to give a professional opinion.
Absolutely. I think if you're on the fence, sometimes the value is really clear and getting an appraisal is a formality, and I get that. But there's a lot of times, most of the time, where value is kind of not as clear.
Right.
And so definitely get an appraisal at that point, desktop, full appraisal. Just have someone give you their independent opinion of what that value is. That's the whole purpose of an appraisal.
Yes, I would agree that. So, how long does it take? And we're talking to Fast Track due to the flood and all that. They're like about a week to 10 days on coming out to give an estimate. They're about 15 days out from the time that you say, yes, let's get going, till the time that they actually can start a job. How far out are you?
No, we still have the same turn time. So we still have 5 full business days for a full appraisal. We are capable of rushes on a case-by-case basis. Just give us a call or email, whatever. Desktops are 2 business days. So how far away do you go, and are you seeing, does it take longer to do a flooded house versus a non-flooded house, those kind of things? The only hiccup we're seeing where we might need some extra time is if it's a multiple flood property.
Okay.
Or it has some other high risk indicator, like it's in a floodway.
Okay.
Something that's not necessarily in the norm that is going to really cause someone to hesitate before they purchase that house. Then we're going to have to do the same thing and hesitate before we give a value.
Got it. Okay. So what are some of the strangest appraisals that you've seen? And won't call them horror stories, but some of since Harvey.
Yeah.
What are you seeing out there?
I haven't seen any real horror stories yet with flood houses. I'm personally having an emotional reaction to going through these really devastated areas. I have to kind of take a step back and put my emotions in check and go back to that independent appraisal mindset. But I haven't seen anything kind of out of the norm per se with a flood house. They all, it sounds terrible, they all kind of look the same right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they either have there's some that still have some debris in the yards and stuff like that. I mean,
yeah, there's some entire neighborhoods that are still going through, and that's the neighborhoods that I'm having a hard time with. You know, how do I account for that? How do I account for this neighborhood is still, I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And if you're flipping a house, it's most likely going to happen before you go to flip it.
Right.
But you're not asking me to give you a value 2 months from now. You're asking me to give you a value today.
Right.
And I'm thinking, if a buyer's coming through and seeing all of this debris everywhere, how are they gonna have the same logical opinion I did of, oh, well, this will eventually be cleaned up? Or are they gonna think more on the negative side of, well, there's a lot of vacant houses, crime rates, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's difficult for me to quantify that in an appraisal right now.
So, and I think that's really, as an investor, that's the difference. Sometimes people say, well, when you're running comps versus when you're getting an appraiser involved, what's the difference there? And what I'm looking for is, I really am looking to see what's this house going to be worth, not today, but after I rehab it, and we're talking about, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months down the road, what's it going to be worth then? And then what you have to take into considerations is, there's a lot of factors that when I look at, a house down the street sold for X number of dollars, or in the neighborhood sold for this, but it doesn't take into consideration that my house is on one of the main access roads to the neighborhood, or I've got high tension power lines in the back of my house, but because you don't necessarily look at that, because you're looking at, I mean, I know you'll look at that some.
Into consideration to an extent,
yes. Yeah. But you're really looking more on, like, hey, historically, like, I'd rather go back 5 years and see what did the house on the busy street sell for.
So, you're right.
Because then I realized that the marketplace has already priced that busy street into the house price, right?
Yeah, we take that in consideration too, and we also take in consideration there's a difference between backing toward power lines versus a school versus like a manure factory, right? Like those are very different scenarios, different sounds and smells per se.
Right.
So that's going to have a different impact, negative impact on value.
Right.
I just recently just thought of this too. We did an appraisal where we had 2 properties, same street, but only one back to the golf course.
Okay.
Well, the golf course was also acting as the floodway.
Oh, wow.
To carry water away. And so houses that were on the golf course,
they flooded
first.
Right.
So houses on the golf course flooded tax day, but not on the golf course didn't.
Okay.
But they all flooded this time.
Right.
And so we were able to accurately determine that golf view actually wasn't adding any value.
Right.
Because it was, pardon the pun, being washed away with being
you've got a plus for
flooding.
the view and a minus for the fact that it floods first, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or a higher risk of flooding, I guess you could put it that way too. But yes.
Yeah. So when you're talking to a seller and he goes, yeah, see, I should sell my house for more because I'm right on the golf course and I've got the view of the, but you're also, I mean, I hear what you're saying, Mr. Seller, but your house is also the first to flood
and your house is now the one that's flooded twice.
Yeah.
Versus these other guys only flooded on Harvey.
Yeah. So what are you saying about the houses that are along Buffalo Bayou, for example, that wouldn't have flooded? The bayou was carrying a lot of water towards the Gulf of Mexico, right? I mean, that's the direction that it heads, right?
Right.
And we took on, record amount of rain. To say that we got a lot of rain in that time, that's the understatement of the year, right? Hurricanes, let's face it, hurricanes drop rain, right? But no hurricane has ever dropped as much rain in the history of all hurricanes in the United States.
Yeah.
So you figure that, there's houses along the bayou, like in Memorial and stuff like that, they've never flooded in 40 plus years of a person living there, right? They're not even they back up to the bayou. They're not even in the floodplain.
Yeah.
And yet they flooded. They got 3 feet of water in them. But it was because of the reservoir being released.
Yes.
I mean, so.
Yeah, I had an instance like that.
How do you evaluate that?
You would treat it the same as a flood property.
Okay.
So if that, typically, even if they've never flooded, they're probably still in a flood zone. So they already had that stigma of being a risk of flooding.
I walked the house Saturday of last week. They weren't in a flood zone.
So then you need to find comps that were in a flood zone then, because it now has that stigma of being a risk of flooding property. So you need that same flood.
Is there a percentage you would take off?
No, not off the top, because it's different for every neighborhood and every market and every price range. Like Bel Air, that specific neighborhood, sure, there's people leaving and listing their homes right now as well, but there's also buyers that are trying to trade up and get into that neighborhood right now. So I'm kind of wondering, well, is it really going to have a negative impact on value? Because sections of that neighborhood were already in a flood zone. That some of them have flooded twice now. Yeah. Or even 3 times, because they flooded with Allison as well. Right. So it's difficult to say. I think what's going to happen, and we can't predict the future, but if there's no more major floods for the next 3 years, I think everything's going to equalize back out. Okay. But if it starts becoming a trend where we have this major flood event every year, that's really going to be.
So we won't really know until like next April, May, or June, right?
Probably. Yeah, probably next 18 months if we have no flood.
Well, what I'm seeing, like this particular house, I don't want to give the exact area or anything like that, but because I'm still negotiating with them, but their pre-flood ARV, in my opinion, was about $495. And they actually, were trying to sell the property in the $550 range, things like that. Had gotten an offer of like $500, but it was contingent on the buyer selling their house, right? Okay. So I thought $495 was a pretty good pre-flood ARV. Then I took off 15%. Straight off the top. So now I'm around $420 as an ARV. Then I look at how much repair it needs, and I calculate my holding costs, and I calculate the profit I want to make. I'm down around $225 as an offer price. But there's as-is properties selling in like the $320 range. But they're not investors. Correct. I think they're the retail buyers that are doing like what you're talking. They want to trade up to get into this neighborhood. They want to, they like the schools, those kind of things. But I can't compete with that guy. Right. As an investor, I can't compete with the guy that wants to live in the house. But so that establishes a comp and an as-is value, because that's what you're looking at, right? Correct. But I can't pay based on that, because that guy's not going to have an exit strategy cost. He's not going to have his holding costs. He's going to have construction costs, and then he's got a nice new house. If he spends $100,000 on the rehab, now he's all in for $420. Yeah, and he's in at retail. Well, I've got other costs.
Of the few, and it's actually not a few. It's like some 70 something houses now that have actually been recorded as being flood houses with Harvey. I think there's actually more. They're just that question's being left blank in MLS. But there's such a wide spread. You're seeing that where these investors are going in and getting really good deals and able to rehab it, and then you're seeing the top end almost retail practically for a flood house. Right. So it's when you see that, when everything's spread that far apart. Again, I can't predict the future. I don't know what's going to happen with these values in the future.
Yeah, see, the ones that we're making offers on, they're off-market deals, so you're not going to see what we're paying for the property as a comp, which is probably good and bad in terms of establishing values for investors. Because in years past, there were some you could see, an investor bought that one, and you could see what the investor paid, and then you'd see it fixed up. But now there's different price points based on, did an investor buy it, did a retail buyer buy it. And when I say retail, it's got to be someone, because you can't get financing on these houses.
Correct.
So it has to be a cash sale or a hard money sale or private money lender sale, something like that.
It's going to be someone with the means to buy it. And if it's a retail side, it's probably not a hard money lender. Right. So, it's someone with
because hard money lenders won't lend to an end user owner occupant.
Right, right.
They only lend on investor homes. So you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. If you have any questions, I'm talking to Michelle Imler about appraisals. If you've got appraisal questions, put your fear of calling behind you. Call 713-785-1817. Step out there, ask a question, or come to the Book of Faces, ask a question there. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio.
Mike's off.
All right.
You found or inherited a great... I can't listen to my commercial. How much it's worth, and more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started NextGen Appraisals. NextGen is a group of appraisers specializing in...
You do? At your own personal house?
We understand that investors
why?
aren't just looking for a number...
why are you whining about that?
...but a comprehensive analysis of the market. Give NextGen a call at 713...
How many peers?
346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Are slow returns getting in the way of your retirement plans? Why settle for mediocre results? There's a better place to invest. The experts agree. Single-family real estate is one of the best investments you can make. Find out how JB Fund Services offers a 9% preferred return and up to a 13% waterfall. Call us today at 281-915-0906 or visit our website, jbfundservices.com. That's 281-915-0906. This investment is offered to accredited investors.
Are you a realtor or seller that is concerned about the new TRID rules and closing on time? I'm
He
Jennifer
actually-
Hernandez,
well,
Senior Loan
almost.
Officer at Legacy Mutual Mortgage, and we have mastered the 30-day close.
Yeah, but that was a
Close
really
on time,
unusual
accurately,
situation.
and with tons of communication. You'll have a dedicated team of a coordinator and a contract-to-close associate. Give me a call today at 713-579-3611, and let's talk about how we can help you on your next transaction.
Right.
NMLS
Right.
514497.
Yeah,
Time
right.
is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance
How long has it been
is slow or
shifting and moving?
non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes, binders, and the agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset.
Rain and cycle.
They know what you need and when you need it. It's there for you.
So you haven't gotten the report from Brandon yet, right? Okay, and then he'll probably show.
281-569-4353.
So the interior is low. Is that what he's saying?
4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Real estate investors.
Has it
if
had
you're
foundation
not
work
familiar
before?
With Quest IRA,
No?
Let me tell you what you're missing.
Is it
We've got
possible there's a
free
broken pipe
weekly
underneath?
educational classes,
Are you having any
networking
plumbing problems
opportunities,
inside?
and the ability
Nothing drains
to tap
slow?
into
No
trillions
showers
of
or toilets
dollars for
drain
your
or
real
clog or
estate
anything like that?
investing deals. Come by our office or join us remotely as we simulcast all of our educational classes every Tuesday morning and evening.
That's
For more
funny.
information, call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or visit our website at questira.com.
If you're 3 inches off, it's gonna break. Especially if that 3 inches is, yeah, then it's.
Know what you're going to get. The foundation repair industry as a whole doesn't carry a license, nor is it regulated. However, Foundation Check utilizes professional engineers to review all of our files.
How many square feet's your house?
Foundation analysis in today's market. Remember to check before ever repair. Call 346-702-3825.
Is it a true story? Or is it like a story and a half?
At foundationcheck.com.
Yeah. So it's like 13,
Rehab
almost
loans,
1,400 square feet
conventional loans,
downstairs.
FHA,
1,350.
and no-income documentation loans can seem scary unless you have the right mortgage company to guide you through the process. Since 2003, Noble Mortgage
So it's
has
not
been
a true
helping
story.
investors just like you. Whether rehabbing houses,
In other words,
buying your first
the
home,
upstairs
rental,
is
or
the same
commercial
size as the
property,
downstairs.
Noble Mortgage offers up
That
to
would be a true
100%
story, right?
financing.
Anything
Call
less than that
Noble
would be
Mortgage
like a story and a half.
713-680-8100 or visit noblemoney.com. That's
Oh, yeah.
noblemoney.com.
Oh,
As
no,
a
no.
real estate investor, you rely on your property
30
inspector
seconds.
to
A
determine
true
the current
story.
condition of the home
My
and
definition
potential
has to be like a
return on
box,
investment from an investor's
box on
point of
box.
view. Principal
Anything less is.
Inspections was founded by investor Jeremy
Yeah.
Humphrey to do
Right.
just that.
I know,
Principal
right.
Inspections works from
Right.
the investor's point
Yeah.
of view, providing affordable, fast, quality inspections with information pertinent to investors while not clouding the report with unnecessary details. Principal Inspections will save you time.
Yeah, Carriage Hill.
Call Principal
Yeah, we just sold that.
832-684-5516
We haven't closed on it, but we just got an offer, and it's under contract. They're in the option period right now. Yeah, it's all finished. You didn't see it finished, did you?
Call Tom at 713
Yeah, you ought to see it now. I can show you pictures.
And look for us
Well,
on Facebook Live at facebook.com/.
Tom.
Yo, I heard you. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
listening. Yeah.
All right. Hot
Like,
mics.
hot mics. Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. My goal every day is to make Nikki laugh when we come back from a break.
That's right. Or nervous. One of the two.
Yeah, we're nervous, right. So, Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817, 713-785-1817. You know, I remember when I first started the radio show, how I wouldn't say that I was really nervous because, you know, you get nervous when you're talking about stuff that you don't know anything at all about.
Right.
And you care how you look.
Yeah.
So, two things. If you're talking about something that you don't know about and you don't care how you look, then that's pretty
You do
easy.
just fine.
Right, you do just fine. Or if you're talking about something that you know, then I don't think most people get too nervous about that.
It's easy to talk about something that you're an expert at.
Yes, that's right. So I remember when we started the radio show. We started February of 2016.
That's funny because this is the first time I was on with you was in March. So
Yeah.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, because you actually came to the studio.
Yeah, which was like a celebrity experience. It's like, oh my, I'm on like the 10th floor or something like that.
Which is kind of like our experience now.
Oh yes, this is also very luxurious. Don't get me wrong.
But you know, and what's interesting is because like I remember the video that we were doing back. In fact, I don't even think we were doing Facebook yet.
Yeah, thank God. Cause
well, and we started out doing Facebook just off of our phones.
Yeah.
And now the fact that we can do Facebook and YouTube, and you know, we have the green screen.
And you got my logo.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
can't touch this.
We've changed a little bit, and so now we've started doing radio advertising, and we're on like AM 610, and we're on the Eagle and stuff like that for Right Path. They're promoting our free events, like our event tonight, for example.
Nice.
And so we just recently went and spoke to the talent that's doing our radio spots or doing live reads, things like that, and it's different when you go into a studio like that versus, but the audio is still just as good.
No, it's great. It's fun. This is closer to my house, so it's all good.
And but it's also funny to when you meet like the real DJ. That's all they do. That's their profession, and just how animated they are, and like, it's almost like you feel like they're ready to go like Sunday.
We sound so boring in comparison.
Exactly. So what else are you seeing? And if I'm a new investor, I see tons of opportunity, but I'm an experienced investor because I'm liking that if I can go in and buy a house that somebody was living in, up until this most recent flood, and they could have sold that house for $185,000 all day long for like a 2,100 square foot, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. That's a nice, 2-car garage in a nice neighborhood, good schools, good jobs, all of that, nice, safe, clean neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
And then it flooded. And now I can go in and buy that house. They had flood insurance.
Right.
They have a mortgage. They're going to get $150,000. That's going to pay off the mortgage. Then I'm going to give them, like $87,000 for their house. They're able to walk away, go plant seeds someplace else.
Start anew.
Yeah, plant roots, all that. I put $30,000 into the rehab. I get it back up to, I've got a rental house. $185,000 rental house, which that's not the price range I would normally want to buy. That's a major upgrade for the price.
Yeah.
That's a $1,600 a month rental.
That's almost a strategy right now because there's more of a need right now for rentals than for retail buys.
But I'll be all in for 117. Not counting.
So rent it out for a couple years and then sell it if you want.
Why not keep it? That's a heck.
Sure, I'm not okay.
Yeah,
yes.
Right.
But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff where you can.
Is there any way I can lose money on that? Is it ever going to be worth less than 117?
Well, if you have to get interior foundation.
Yeah, but even that, that's what, $10,000 or $15,000. I'm still way. I'm getting a great deal.
You are getting a great deal, yes.
So if I can do that over and over, and there's I don't think there's 2 or 3 of those great deals out there. There's hundreds. There's thousands.
But I think the difference between you guys and what I see with other investors is y'all have the confidence to walk away from a deal if the numbers don't work.
Right. Yeah.
And you already have gone into the deal predetermined of what that number needs to be. And so it's really easy when
you can do it on the fly. I had a guy call me yesterday. Yeah. He had a house up in Conroe.
Okay.
It's right on the water. And he basically said, hey, so-and-so referred me. He'd used you a lot when you were with Fast Track. I'm a broker. He works for me. It's always a red flag to me when an agent or a broker or something like that's wanting to sell a house to us. I'm like, why don't you just put on MLS? Why are you selling it to me? You're not going to give it to me at the number that I'm wanting. He goes,
right.
I go, well, he goes, well, what would you give me? I'm like, well, I'm not going to come out there because I don't think I'm going to get in the ballpark, but I'll just use your numbers. Let's say that pre-flood, it was worth $600. He goes, well, it really didn't flood, but...
Oh, Lord.
But, because it's right on the water, right? It didn't really flood.
It didn't really flood.
Well, here's what
it's one or the other.
Well, right. So did it get water inside it or did it not, right? And he goes, well, it didn't flood like from rising water, but the way that the water flows towards the house, what he wants to do basically is he said, if I had a berm in front of the house.
If you corrected it.
Yeah, right. Then it wouldn't have, it didn't flood all. It's just that the water was kind of channeled towards his front door, right?
Okay.
And so does that count as a flood or not a flood? To me, it sounds like it flooded. It got water inside. So now he's completely demoed the house.
Technically, we could all put those aqua dams around our house and we'd all be just fine. Nobody lives in a flood zone.
Right, exactly.
It doesn't really work like that in real life.
Yeah, exactly. So I said, well, okay, it's got to be at least, 10 to 15% less because it's flooded, So let's just take the low end of that at 10%. Now we're at 540. And then I've got a 10% closing cost when I sell the house. And then I started working back, and I said, how much is the rehab? And he goes, well, I think the rehab's about $150,000. And I'm like, how many square feet is it? And he said
6,800 or something.
It's like 4,000 square feet. And I said, well, if it's flooded, I said, is that one story or two story? He said one story. So it's like a 4,000 square foot, one story house. And I'm like, yeah, the problem is it's probably closer to $50 a foot if everything's been ripped out. I mean, that's a $200,000 rehab.
Okay.
And, oh, by the way, it's in Conroe. And there's no such thing as like Fast Track will go to Conroe, but they charge extra to do it. And there is no like local Fast Track Conroe, company. And so I've got to pay somebody an extra 10 or 15% just to go out there. So now I've got a 220. I mean, I keep working the numbers backwards.
Now it's like, now you got to pay me to buy your house.
Well, I'm probably best case scenario in the 180 range, But it's 180, and I've got 225 in rehab, and it's going to take me 13 months. I mean, it's like it's 8 months to do the rehab. It's 3 or 4 months on market.
Yeah, it's always kind of nerve-wracking when your rehab budget exceeds what you're buying the house for, too.
Which we do that for. I mean, it's just a numbers thing.
Just a kind of a cautionary thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so. We start getting down, and he goes, well, I think lot value is like 260. And I'm like, well, then sell it as a lot. I mean, because to rehab that house, I need to buy it for like 180.
I always have a hard time with that because the lot value in this scenario is 260 if there's nothing on the lot.
Yeah. Now I asked him, I said, have you priced, tearing the house down? And apparently he had. It's about $10,000 to tear that house down. And problem is he bought it for like 230. And he meant to rehab it and like live in it for a while, rehab it to his specs. Mm-hmm. And he said, I don't disagree with any of your numbers, but he said, I can't sell it for that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, great, because I can't buy it.
Talk to you in 5 months.
Well, but it's like, yeah, that's great, but I can't buy it for more than that because I'm not willing. And you're right. I'm willing to walk away if he's not willing to sell it for because and that's the thing is like I feel like I'm a kid in the candy store right now.
Because there's so much opportunity in front of your face everywhere, but it doesn't mean you have to have all of it, right? So
I have to have all of them that fit my numbers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. I'm joined live in the studio with Michelle Emler. She's with NextGen Appraisals, and her phone number is 713-346-9911, 713-346-9911, and her web address is NextGen, Gen, appraisals.com. There's probably a story behind the name of your appraisal company, right?
You know the story.
Tell the listener.
I'm a second-generation appraiser. I actually learned how to appraise real estate from my dad.
Yeah, so you didn't want to call it second-gen appraisals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you couldn't call it first-gen because that'd be your dad, right?
Surprisingly, coming up with a business name was like the hardest thing I've had to do.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know why I overthought it so much, and then finally it came out of my brain, and I was like, okay, finally, like, move on. It's like so many decisions you have to wait on making before you have a business name, right?
Yes.
And it was harder to name my business than my child. And it should not be that difficult. It should not. It took me like 18 months to come up with a business name.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully it didn't take you that long for your child.
No. Yeah. We still don't know what to call him.
Yeah. The child is 9 months old and like, what?
Come here, you.
Come here, you. Right.
Should have just called him us. Us appraisals. Just call us.
Yeah, just call us. Oh, that's a great name.
Actually, it is. Don't steal that, anybody. Oh, my God. 18 months to come up with NextGen and 5 minutes to come up with a really
that wasn't
good
even
one.
5 minutes.
I'm going to look that up right now.
Yeah, us appraisals. Just call.
Stop saying it so much.
Well, like we've got a couple of different brands that we have. I mean, like we have the sellusyourhouse.com brand.
Correct.
Which, I can't say that I took creative genius to do that. I'm just driving down. I remember I was going south on the Southwest Freeway, the West Park Curve, and there's always, right where that little Mexican market is, that. You know what I'm talking about? Right on the curve.
I think so, but okay.
1 minute.
Yeah, so we're like right there, and there's always a Texas Direct Auto sign that says, sell us your car. And I'm just like, sell us your car, man. Sell us your house would be just awesome. And then I was able to buy that domain name. And sometimes it's you buy the
business names are better.
Yeah, right. Well, and sometimes what happens is it's like in the modern 21st century that we're living in, it's like if you think of a company name, it's like is the domain name available?
Yes.
And it's like it's not whether or not it's available through the Secretary of State. Is this a domain name available? And then you check the Secretary of State's office.
I need a cool website, okay?
Yeah, you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. We're going to break. We'll keep going.
Mic's off.
Yep.
Okay, let's see if that domain name's
Are you
available.
expecting
Don't take it,
accurately,
anybody.
on
Don't
time,
take it.
and with lots of communication on your home purchase?
Hey, Tom, what's
you've come
the
to
IP
right place.
address?
I'm Jennifer Hernandez.
For us?
Senior loan
Yeah.
officer
Oh.
with Legacy Mutual
That's
Mortgage.
an Andy question.
Our goal
You're going to be
is
in
to
today,
offer
right?
borrowers and referral partners
I
an
gotta get
amazing
my hair done.
experience during
You
the
get to
month.
get your hair did?
I
My
can't
team
go to
believes
Yeah.
in putting people and
I'm
culture before results.
gonna come and help
Our
Veronica
company
set up for the
concentrates
event.
on
Also, I have a
building
meeting
those
at
teams
NRG
who
at
operate
7
with
o'clock
structure,
tonight.
Oh, yeah?
process, and recognition for
Yeah.
going the extra mile for you. This way, we have the energy to make this your best home purchase ever. Give us a
Oh,
call
look,
today
it's
to
available.
Find out the simple steps to get started.
Oh, only-
I'm Jennifer Hernandez.
That's all right. I'll keep
the
mine.
Hernandez team at Legacy Mutual.
But you know what?
Oh.
It's almost looks like U.S. as well.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or call
good, though.
It is.
3611. Again, jennifer.legacy.
That's real good.
We can't wait.
You know what we paid? You know what we paid for our Houston House Buyers?
You've told me the story, but I don't remember the amount.
It's like $2,600.
Yeah.
We hadn't even started yet.
Well, I paid like whatever the minimum is, like
$9.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for NextGen.
I would have thought I would have paid more for Sell Us Your House than Houston House Buyers.
Yeah,
But
I like that
we
it says
paid a lot less.
USA in the beginning.
I know, right?
It's even got a cool catchphrase.
You oughta. They may hear this on the radio and the price will go up.
It is going to go up now. Thank you for the free advertising, Michelle.
You found or inherited a great investment property. Problem is, you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started NextGen Appraisals. NextGen is a group of appraisers specializing in investment real estate. We understand that investors aren't just looking
Hey, Tom.
for a number
Yo.
of what their property is worth. but
Robert from
comprehensive
Houston's on.
Oh, okay, cool.
on hold.
Give NextGen a call at 713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Very long
As a
commercial.
real estate investor, you rely on your property
Hey,
inspector
Nikki,
to determine the
that
current
text you just
condition of
sent,
the home and
s-
your
send me
potential
send me their
risk.
contact info and I'll talk to
Principal
them.
Inspections was founded
Okay.
by investor Jeremy Humphrey to do just that. Working from the investor's point of view, Principal Inspections will give you turnkey inspections that are high quality, affordable.
Jeremy's awesome. I have to say, he's
Yeah?
he's a great guy.
The report with unnecessary
We usually run into each other at houses.
Yeah.
And now he's got a whole entourage.
Yeah, right,
Of
a whole-
people, so I don't see him as much.
He's got a whole crew.
He's a very busy guy.
Yeah.
But no, he's very nice and he's always willing to answer your questions.
Right.
And I've even gone to a couple houses that were vacant and kind of shady.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, "I'll wait till you're done," and
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
he's a good guy. Oh, he almost got a bunch of nasty water dumped on my head one time. So it was a 2-story house, and
Yeah.
you know, there was a beam broken, and we both saw it, and we were both, it's a vacant house, we were both like, "Oh, there's a beam broken."
Did you know
haha.
that there are over $24 trillion
So anyway, so he's doing that test where they turn all the water on to
Yeah.
put a load on the system.
Right.
And I was downstairs right underneath this broken beam,
Yeah.
kind of looking at it, and I hear the water, and I'm like, "This water sounds really close."
Uh-huh.
And just whatever gut feeling I got, I kind of stepped out of the way.
Yeah.
And then whoosh, like right where there was this hole in the ceiling. All right where I was
to run
standing.
real estate deals all over the country. We don't sell any investments or give advice. However, we do hold free networking events, weekly educational classes, and free consultations.
I'm looking to
with an IRA
see-
specialist. For more
You gonna buy that
information,
domain name and
visit
sell it
our
to me?
website,
No.
questira.com, or call us at
No, I've moved on to-
1-855-FUN IRAs to tap into the $24 trillion in
Why did I have to
retirement
come up with
accounts in
that
the
after I've
US?
already been
Call
advertising with you
Quest
guys for
IRA
like
at
6 months?
1-855-FUN-IRA.
I do
Or
like
our
it, though.
website,
Yeah.
All right, you two are coming back.
Yeah.
And don't
But is
forget
it
about
worth the
Robert.
switch?
Call Tom at 713-785-1817 and look for us on Facebook Live at facebook.com/RightPathRealEstate.
Hot mics.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817, 713-785-1817. So I'm joined live in the studio with Michelle Imler. She is NextGenAppraisals.com. Soon to be changing her name.
Just like it changed soon, yeah.
So it's NextGenAppraisals.com, 713-346-9911. She is a second-generation appraisal.
Yeah, there is meaning behind the name.
Yeah,
Which it's still a good name.
Yeah, you grew up, like, did you go with your dad to appraise out? No?
No, so my dad worked in the oil business, and then I don't know how old I was, but it was right before high school. So I was last year junior high. And he started learning how to be an appraiser.
Okay.
And so I remember going out to jobs with him when he was first learning how to do it and everything like that, and just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. But I also have this really bad rebellious streak. When you get to know me, I just don't want to do something if you ask me to do it.
Okay.
And so I was like,
so, hey, Michelle, can you do this? And you're like, no.
No, I don't want to do it how everybody else does it. I got to be different.
Right, sure.
So I went off on my own, did my own thing, and then eventually came back to it, learned how to do it. And yeah, it's been a great journey.
So do you have that rebellious streak in terms of how you do your appraisals? Or
No. Like, no, you have to do the trend line with those. You can't be a rebel.
Right. So for a brand new investor, what would you say are one or two things that a brand new investor should know about what? Because I know you've been coming as a vendor to our free events, like we're doing a free event tonight.
Right.
And people have been coming up asking questions because obviously they don't even know what purpose an appraiser serves.
I think there's this misconception that appraisers pull comps, and there's a large difference between pulling comps and determining a value and analyzing a market and arriving at an appraised value and delivering an appraised report with my signature, license, and insurance.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between saying these are 3 good comps and this is a value that I am holding myself accountable for.
Right.
And I think that investors, a lot of times, one, you have to learn the basics. You need to know what an appraiser is. You need to know what an inspector is.
Right.
And some listeners probably right now are like, well, duh, I know what an appraiser is. Well, believe it or not,
yeah.
There is
most people know what an inspector is also, but they don't really know what they think an inspector does and what an inspector actually does is different.
Yeah, and a lot of times people think appraisers and inspectors are the same thing.
Yeah.
Appraisers do not inspect homes.
Right, they do not.
I do not know the difference between all this other stuff. And Jeremy, I was listening to him present at a different event last week, and he's explaining this flood barrier between the brick and the wood and all this other stuff, and if that's gone and what you have to do. And I'm just like...
It's actually a vapor barrier, but...
Well,
right.
Jeremy lied then.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, he probably didn't. I just said it wrong.
Right.
But,
I'm just playing. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know stuff to that extent and that kind of knowledge that Jeremy has. So that there's...
Yeah, they're looking at the 17 major systems. You're not really looking at is the air conditioner new or old or things like that, right? Or do you look to that level?
We take that into account. If the window's new, old, blah blah blah. The condition of major aspects of the property,
right?
But I'm not going to individually turn on all of the
have to wrap it up.
Water faucets and check the load.
Hey, give NextGen Appraisals a call. That's nextgenappraisals.com, 713-346-9911. You want to come to our event tonight at 9999 Westheimer. We're going to be talking about how to raise money for flooded houses. Jason's going to be there. Look forward to seeing you guys. RightPathRealEstate.com.
Yay. All right, Mike's off.
I think
have a good day.
I think I wrapped it up on time, right?
You did good.